Cool. Hey everyone, thanks for hopping on today. Hope everybody's doing well and having a good week. So we are coming up to almost the end of the residency, which is exciting but also sad. So the call today is just kind of like a quick overview on our auction. Which will take place on the 4th and the 5th of April. You have all been getting calendar invites for this for a while. Actually, it should be in your calendar. And this is essentially like the celebration of the end of the residence, and where you'll be showcasing, if you want, of course, the artwork that you have created during this residency or throughout this time, which will be auctioned and sold on the 4th and on the 5th of April. So just to give you a bit of a lowdown and context as to what and how this works. First of all, the main kind of like idea of this is that it's completely optional. So if you want to produce a piece that will then be sold and auctioned on the 4th and the 5th of April, you definitely can. If you don't, that's also fine. Usually we do get, I would say, like 98% of the residents to produce a piece, and we do have, quite high participation in this, and I would highly recommend it as well. But if for whatever reason you're not able to, no problem. So for those of you who will be participating and will be auctioning a piece and creating a piece with us, we are going to be hosting a online exhibition in Arium Spaces, which is the metaverse space that you have been hearing about from Boria, and also had a class probably last week or the week before around Arium Spaces. So the way that it works is that usually we set up a small team of people, usually around 3 to 4 people, that work together from the residency itself to create the space where all of the works will be showcased. And on the 4th of April, we have an event, which is kind of like an online event where we invite all of our community, our friends, everybody to join us to essentially kick off the auction or kick off the sale. And kick off the exhibition. We usually have a curatorial tour in the space where we go through all of the pieces, we share more about the pieces, and then we have some music playing and just a general kind of like happy party vibe. The auction or the sale lasts 24 hours. So we start it usually at 6 p.m. Now the time just changed, so it's 6 p.m. UTC until the next day, 6 p.m. UTC, so 24 hours. And in these 24 hours, obviously, we try to promote and share and just share the work as much as possible, and hopefully find great collectors that will acquire the work. The works, so the artwork itself, this is the only requirement, but it's a very important requirement, has to be minted on Tezos. This, again, as we said before numerous times, is because the residency is hosted by Tezos. And so our requirement and our kind of like, let's say like clause for that is that the work that is being produced from the residency at the end of the residency is minted on the Tezos blockchain. The way that it works in terms of the minting is that we create a object collection which will say 5th residency cohort, and you will mint on this collection from your own wallets. And then the collection will showcase all of the pieces that are part of the exhibition and are part of the final 5th cohort residency event. In terms of what you can do with the artwork itself, it's totally up to you. It doesn't have to be a one-of-one. It can be additions. It doesn't have to be just like a single piece. You can usually, we tend to limit it to 2 pieces per artist. 1 is good. If you want to do 2, you can do 2, but more, it can get a little bit messy. So usually we recommend 1 or 2 pieces per artist. my recommendation is usually to do one. I think that works quite well. And so it's not confusing and it gives even more focus on the specific piece that you created. If you are a generative artist and would like to produce a long form collection, that is also absolutely fine. We can support FXH like we do with all of our other exhibitions. And so if you want to do a long form or short form curated collection on FXH, we can definitely support that and are more than happy for you to do that as well. In terms of deadlines, so today is the 16th. What we would really like to know by the end of this week is who of you or whoever from this group or from the residency as a whole would like to be part of the Arium Spaces working group, which will allow Boria and Micol, who are, well, Boria, you all know Boria, but Micol is kind of our alumni resident and also an incredible builder of Arium Spaces, to gather together a working group and start creating the Arium space as soon as possible. Usually how it works is that Boria leads this team and basically we create a brief and then we go about essentially bringing the space to life in the metaverse. In terms of the other deadlines for the artwork, Boria, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think should be submitted and ready by the 31st, or what did we say, Boria? Sorry.
30th of March.
30th.
And I will highly advise everyone to be as ready as possible beforehand, before that date and at that date, because it kind of gets a little tricky when we start loading all the artwork in the Arium space. And if there are delays, it can really slow down the process of building the metaverse space.
Perfect. You heard Boria. So,
oh, sorry to interrupt. I have to listen to you guys on my ear, so I'm not know if it is a moment. But do we mint the work ourselves and then submit it?
Yes.
Do we
so
yeah.
the work is submitted through like you will upload it on a drive so that we have the work, the actual work, and then you can mint it after it's being after it's done. Basically, the minting is quite simple. You don't have to mint it by the 30th. We can mint it, on the 31st, on the 1st, or on the 2nd. But the work has to be ready on the 30th of April.
Thank you. I got it.
And and basically, once the work is ready, you will upload it to a drive. Boria will provide all of these details. We also usually create a catalog that we share with all of our collectors ahead of time. So the reason why we also need to know the details of the work, the description, the name, the edition size, what you're doing, is because we can facilitate the conversations with our collectors and make sure that they are aware of what each of you is doing, and potentially they might want to reserve a piece or they might want to know more about it. And so we have a couple of days to be able to have these conversations. The way that then it will work is that on the 4th, we usually do a residency Twitter space where all of you will, hopefully participate and present your work. And then we kind of move from Twitter to Arium Spaces, where we will all gather there to present, to see the space and to obviously, share the work and, have fun in the metaverse space. For those of you who have never minted on Tezos, you will receive a step-by-step guide on how to mint by Phil. He can't make the call today because he's on other calls, but you will receive a very easy step-by-step minting guide on how to mint. And we do this for all of our exhibitions, and there's also a video that shows us exactly how to do it. So it's very self-explanatory. And in any case, if you have any problems, any issues, any questions, you are feel free to message Phil directly as well. Another part to this is that historically we have asked residents to select a fee or a curatorial fee that they would like to donate to the residency wallet. So some artists have decided to donate all of their proceeds to their primary proceeds to the residency wallets. Others have decided to donate 50%, 60, 70, 80, 20, whatever it is that you're most comfortable with. So that again is information that we would need in order ahead of time in order to be able to obviously mint and set up the auction, because also it's something that you will do when you're minting. In terms of like you're not sure about what to do, you don't know how to price it, you don't know if you want to do an edition or one of one, all of this, I'm more than happy to answer these questions. Just ping me and let me know what you're thinking about, and I can suggest or be advice on that. Yeah, I think that's kind of like all the details that the auction and like the kind of like this is about. I'm sure there's some questions, so I'd love to open it up to questions, and then maybe Boria, you can explain a little bit further about the Arium Spaces working group and what we would love to have so that we could get together a working group to start working on it ASAP.
Sounds good.
Hey, this is Una.
Hey, Una.
Hey, good morning. Just a quick question. In terms of editions, the concept that I'm running with for a piece right now is something that I'd like to also like airdrop to the people who are in the residency with us. So is that a functionality which you all can do?
What do you mean? Airdropping it to all of the residents?
Yeah, so just like everyone in the cohort gets one, and then have a one for sale.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, right on. Cool. Thank you.
So yes, so you're asking, I assume if it's editions, they'll be listed at a fixed price. Yes, correct.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
Sorry, I was answering Alejandro's question. Any other questions that come up?
Yeah, actually, so if it's a one-on-one, can we either do auction or list at a fixed price, or do you have a preference for that?
Yeah, so it's totally up to you, to be honest. It depends on also, what you're most comfortable with. We can list it as a fixed price, or we can do an auction. In the past, we've definitely done a lot of auctions. Also because it's 24 hours, so it's like the auctions then kind of end at the same time. But we also did fixed prices, so it's up to you, to be honest. Whatever you feel most comfortable with, we can support both. Are there any other questions or concerns or anything at all that you want to ask?
Yeah.
Well, this is Christian. Oh, sorry to interrupt.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I apologize. Micol, I was just curious to know if there were any constraints on the resolution or scale of these artworks that you'd like to see observed, if there's some standard that you typically regard as normative for a submission.
Yes, a good question, and I totally forgot. So actually the max, let's say, Boria, also correct me if I'm wrong, is 100 megabytes. And that also facilitates them being easily loaded in the space.
Are there any other formats that you might prefer to have or exclude, or is it just whatever the Tezos platform will support?
Whatever object will support. We're quite easy on that.
Right, perfect.
And yes, I can confirm that the 100 megabytes is what's best for minting. That's what object will support. However, if it's possible for you in regards to the ARIAM space, since I don't know if you remember our class with Micol that we said that optimization of the space is one of the most important things to make it accessible for most people and most devices. If your artwork is many megabytes large, if it's a video which is larger, or if it's a 3D sculpture GOB file which is larger, um, please ask us in advance, and please make sure that you have a file that can be imported in the ARIAM space, which is a lot smaller in size, so that we can make sure that that the space will run smoothly. Also, just to mention on that regard, this is not going to be the piece that you will be minting. If a resize or optimization of a certain piece is required, this will not be the one that you will be minting. This additional file will just be for the ARIAM space, so that we can have an optimized space.
Okay, I have a question. So for ARIAM space, that's the one. Well, the 100 megabytes is for minting, or it might be different for the space. I most likely will have videos, so I'm curious about that part.
So in that regard, videos tend to become larger so the original piece that you create might be a larger piece in megabytes. And that's exactly what I meant by if it's possible for you to try to convert it somehow to a different file format, or to present an additional version of the file, which is the smallest possible file size without compromising on quality, of course, it will be very good. Otherwise, we would have to find ways to do it ourselves, and it will significantly slow down the process. So be mindful of this if you're submitting videos, or if you're submitting, as I mentioned, GLB sculptural, 3D sculptural files. Make sure that you have an additional one which is optimized and smaller in size, just for the ARIAM space. Also, something that will happen is that when we load these artworks in the space, they will be clickable. So you would be able to click on them, and they will open up a screen which will actually be linked to the minted piece. So even if there is a slight discrepancy between the quality of the work as seen in the space, the collectors and the visitors of the exhibition will still be able to see the actual original full quality piece. So don't worry about it, but we just want to mention that in advance, because there have been issues with these in the past.
Okay, thank you. So optimize to a certain size, or just optimize? Yeah, I mean, I guess we can follow up later too, but
Yes, absolutely. You can always ask us if that works, and absolutely, if it's possible to have, if in regards to a video that you're asking, you have to make it a smaller size. Just make sure that it's the smallest possible file size without compromising on on your quality. And if you have issues with that or don't know how to do it, just reach out, and we'll handle and we'll think about how to do it.
thank you. Thank you both.
Luciana had a question on what happens if the art is not sold during that day. If the art, I mean, yeah, Andrew, you said you can airdrop it, which is absolutely and totally up to you. Again, this is up to you. We can keep it in the collection. You can decide to airdrop it. You can decide to gift it. You can decide to burn it. We don't keep a hold of any decisions there. So it's a conversation that we can have, together.
Micol, did we mention about the donation part of it?
Yes, we did just before.
Okay.
So again, just what Borea was saying, I can just repeat it. So historically, this auction has always been kind of like shared between the residency and from the residency. So it's up to you guys to decide how much of the sale you would like to donate to the residency wallet. The fee, essentially what you're donating, goes into a residency wallet, which allows the residency also to continue and for us to be able to do what we're doing in further cohorts as well. So it's up to you whether you want to how much of your primary sale you want to donate towards that. Secondary sales are obviously selected by you, and they are kept by you. We don't take any secondary sales.
And Micol, am I on? Yeah, I am on. You said that you guys, I'm sorry, that you're going to help us with the pricing. Is that something that you're going to help us on the open chat in Discord? Or do we do that in private, or how does that work?
However you prefer. I mean, we can do it in private, or we can also chat about it in the Discord. If you're more comfortable DMing me about it and chatting about it in private, we can definitely do that.
Okay, and that would be through DM you through what? Through Discord or Twitter?
Discord, ideally.
All right, thank you. And then when you say airdrop it, if he doesn't sell, what does that mean? Airdrop it to the residency or airdrop where? What does that mean? What are you guys talking about?
So airdrop is just like a term where you essentially are giving out for free the work to whoever you want. So it's like the process of like sending the work from your wallet to another wallet.
Okay.
It's not a prerequisite. Alejandro was just saying, if it doesn't sell, you can also airdrop it to me. But it was just, like you can do whatever you want with the work if it doesn't sell.
Okay. Thank you.
By the way, while we're on the topic of wallets and airdropping, I would just like to take the moment to ask Kashushu and Luciana to guys check your emails, and you will find an email from me with a confirmation of your wallet address. Please make sure that you reply as soon as possible to that, whether your wallet address is correct, or if it's not correct, just send me the correct one. Thanks.
Please, we need all of your wallet's addresses to be able to invite you to the collection on object. Unless you're doing FXH.
Okay, I have another question. We're minting this directly in object. We're not. I just wanted to check and thank you so much for that. I know that there's a wallet coming to us. Are we? Yeah, I wanted to check on that as well so that I know, it didn't get lost or be on the lookout. But we wouldn't be minting it on there, right?
So it's not a wallet. It's just a collection that we create on object, and then you mint from your own wallet. So the only reason why we need your Tezos wallet is because we need to invite you to be part of that collection.
Okay. Right now I'm losing my vocabulary, but what I'm talking about is I don't remember what it's called, but the external wallet, the wallet that you guys gifted us. Is that's maybe a separate question.
The ledger. Okay, yeah, sorry.
The ledger. The ledger.
So we just received all the ledgers. Yeah, so that's the hardware wallet. Yeah, so we just received all the ledgers literally this week, and then we'll be shipping them. So it's gonna take a little while. Yeah.
Okay. No worries. I just wanted to make sure I was on the lookout for it and that it didn't get lost or anything like that, and whether I could use that. But it's perfect. Thank you.
Boria, do you want to maybe share about the Arium spaces and also ask who wants to be involved?
Absolutely. So as as you guys know, I've been asking which ones of you who would like to participate in the building of the space. I can see that we actually have Micol here as well. So Micol, hi, thanks for joining us. And if you have anything to mention in regards to the Arium space, you're very welcome to do so. So basically, guys, you don't have to have any kind of specific skills for that. You don't have to have 3D skills, but if you do, we would um, really appreciate it if you joined our team, because that way we're going to be able to create a more sophisticated um, metaverse environment in space. Um, if you don't know anything about 3D building or anything, you can still help us out because there are visual assets that need to be created for the space. There's also the actual uploading of the works, which is really, really easy. It's literally like uploading a piece over the internet. It's not that very hard. Um, and we would appreciate anyone who wants to join in on the building process. This needs I would suggest that you let me know whether you want to participate in this process by the end of the week. Even that's a little late. I would say today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, just drop me a line either on the chat or over email or Twitter, wherever you prefer. Just let me know, raise your hand and say, hey, I want to participate. What should I do? And don't be afraid of it. It's really, really not scary. It sounds very complicated and complex, but it really is not. And I would be very happy to see what's going to happen. Generally, what we do, the process of building a space, starts with a brief that we can either create together or we can start thinking about it one by one. But we first brainstorm about what kind of space we would like to have for all of us. And after the brief, we just start building it out, which includes building 3D models, which we then load to the space. And with time, the space gets more complicated. We decide on lighting or whether the space is outside or inside. Um, the actual building process usually includes a few building groups, so a few calls that we establish so that we can speak about things. And how can I say more about this? This is basically what we do. So we start with the brief, and then we start with thinking about what needs to get done. We assign tasks to people who can do different kinds of tasks. And by the time we have the exhibition opening, we should have the space ready. That's basically it.
Okay. So we have a few people that are already saying that they want to help. So Boria, maybe we can create a separate chat with the ones who are putting it on the group right now.
Yep.
As Micol said, and Micol, also feel free to unmute if you want to and just add your thoughts on this. That there's no Blender experience that is needed, or if you do have Blender experience, then that's great, but it's not a prerequisite at all. So just for to recap what I just mentioned, so we are going to be holding a residency auction on the 4th and the 5th of April, which is approximately in just a few days less than 3 weeks time. The artwork that you can submit for this exhibition, it's not a prerequisite to be a participant in this exhibition, but if you do want to, it'll have to be uploaded and shared with us along with details of the artwork by the 30th of March. Boria will be sharing the drive and the information that we need in order to make sure that we have all of the information and can prepare all of our assets, marketing, catalog, etc. And the work will then be minted on Tezos. It can be either on our shared object collection or on FXH if you plan to do a generative drop. You can decide how much of the proceeds, of the primary proceeds of this artwork you would like to donate to the residency wallet. And you will receive minting instructions if you've never minted on Tezos, but even if you have, you will receive them anyways on how to mint and what to do. And it will all happen in Arium spaces, and we are getting together a working group right now, which Boria and Micol will lead on getting a space together, which will host the exhibition and where the auction event will take place on the 4th. Any additional questions? Boria, I don't think we sent a invite for the 4th to everybody. So if we can send the invite for 6 p.m. UTC for the auction event.
Let me check that.
Actually, sorry, 5 p.m. UTC. It's changed. The time has changed.
You mean about the Twitter space?
No, just like the event in Arium Spaces.
Because it's already sent. It should be in everyone's calendars. It's at 6 p.m. right now. Should I change it?
I don't have it in mind. That's strange. But does everybody else have it? Because I don't see it in the VCA residency calendar.
It's not in my calendar, and I'm pretty assiduous as a professor. I keep track of my schedule pretty carefully.
Yeah, so I think we need to send it, Boria, on the 4th from 5 p.m. UTC.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
On the 4th of April. We have a lot of volunteers now, Boria, for the space. So you have more than you expected.
That's amazing. Thanks so much, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun, I promise.
I think usually what we've done in the past is just set up a call to go through, what we want to do and the creative brief, and then
Yep, that's what we're going to do. We'll be using the metaverse architecture channel, which should now be appearing underneath the fifth cohort chat. I will be pinging you over there so you can see what's being done. Yes, perfect.
Yeah, I wanted to say that seems so much fun, and I'm over here withholding because I had a car wreck and I'm still without a car, and it really kind of messed me up with a lot of things dealing with that. But I wanted to also check on on the pricing. I'm sure it varies, but or we can follow up later. But is there a range? Is Tesos is new to me, and I know I guess it just depends on the person and on the piece. Is there a range that we fit within for the space since we're all in one collection or one space? It's just one question I'm throwing out there to see if there's something that we discuss about that.
I think it depends on each and every artist. I wouldn't feel comfortable in setting like a range for all of you of prices, because you all have your past prices and works, and I think it's better to discuss on a one-to-one basis.
Yeah, and also it depends on the piece, but that's why I was asking, because if there was a range, then that would influence that decision as well. Okay, well, sounds good. We'll just talk about that later. Thank you, Micol.
No worries. And Tom works in Blender every day, so that's amazing. Exactly. We can now build a shopping mall. Yeah. Lol. That's funny. Okay. Well, if there's no other questions or no other thoughts, I will let you all go on with your days. And yeah, just feel free to ping me if there's anything that kind of like comes up that is not super clear or you want to know more of. Well, actually, something else that I wanted to ask. So next Friday, we don't have in the next 2 weeks, we actually don't have an AMA scheduled. Usually, like we tend to, I tend to leave out these days, like these weeks, to kind of like focus on, doing the work and like the auction, etc. But if you're all up to hearing some more voices for AMAs, I'm more than happy to try and set it up. So if you want to just quickly ping on the chat if there's anybody that so far, especially now since we're kind of like coming to the end of the auction, that you really, really want to hear from, that, any perspective that would really help in any way, if you can just ping it here, and then I will do my very best to make sure that these people can come. It's going to be 2 AMAs, so it's like next week and the following. So yeah, we'll just have to like choose accordingly to also what the consensus is on these 2. So yeah, feel free to start adding in your suggestions. Doesn't necessarily have to be now. It can also be on Twitter if you're more comfortable with. But yeah, I was thinking maybe another collector. I remember somebody was asking about Arthemort, so I can definitely ask him. I'm quite close to him, so he also works at Sotheby's, so that might be a good AMA to have. But yeah, let me know. Happy to just be aligned with whatever it is that you guys want to, whoever it is that you guys want to hear from. And tomorrow you're hearing from Adrian Krego, which I think will be very interesting. Cool.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything. I can't believe it's going to end soon. Thank
Not so
you.
soon. Come on, we still have a while together.
Okay.
So
did you say? But you said 2 weeks, right? That seems really soon.
Yeah, a little bit less, little bit more than 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then where do you have the lounge is still scheduled, right, for Sunday?
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Right. Great. Well, thanks everyone. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day.
Thanks, Micol, for your hard work on our behalf. We appreciate it.
Hey. Oh, something else, guys. I didn't mention, but because I'm getting a few pings about it. So, as you might know or not, we as VCA are doing our kind of like festival event, Proof of People, in New York on the 12th and the 13th of April, in partnership with Refraction Festival, Refraction DAO. And be a 2-day, 2-night kind of like multi-immersive exhibition, talks, music, live performances, etc. You don't have to buy tickets. So everyone from the residency, alumni, this cohort, past cohorts, everybody gets tickets, gets entrance essentially. Sorry, I'm not very good with words today. I had so many colds that I'm a bit like, my mind is a bit muffled. So you don't need to buy any tickets. If you're in New York, please let me know, let Borja know, and yeah, just come. There's a few of you who will actually be exhibiting. Una is doing an incredible live performance, which will be absolutely insane. So I 100% recommend, if you're in the area in New York, if you happen to be there for NFT NYC, to let us know. And of course, both nights will be absolutely free. And if you don't know what Proof of People is, which you might not, this is our Twitter account. And this is our website. So you can take a look. There's also what we did last year in London. There will be another London event as well. So even if you can't make it to New York, there is something coming for Europe as well soon. But I don't know when. Probably
when is the next New York one? I guess in a year.
No, so New York is what I was just saying, 12th to 13th of April, like in less than a month.
Yeah. But when would be the next one? The next one.
Oh, I don't know, Martha. You're asking me to plan too much ahead.
Okay.
I'm already losing my mind for this one. So another New York one. I don't know. I don't know if we'll do it in New York. Actually, we try to. The point of Proof of People is to be like to have a London one every year, because that's kind of like where it started, and also it's a good. It's London is quite like central for a lot of European cities, and then to actually change locations that we do it in. So this year it was New York. There's some talks and plans of Amsterdam next year, Tokyo potentially. So yeah, I think it'll always be somewhere around the world.
Okay, that's helpful.
See how New York goes
I
this
like
year.
I like New York. I mean, not New York. I like Proof of People a lot. Anyway.
You'll be coming to this one, right, in New York?
I am planning on it. I just yeah, it's just this wreck has really affected a lot of things, and I'm sick, so I'm feeling really low energy right now. But it's still 2 weeks. 2 weeks, but that was my plan. It's just that was my plan, and I wanted to anyway. I want to take up more time right now, but we can just chat privately about it.
Oh, cool. Will there be anything in Lisbon at NFC? I mean, vertical crypto art. I'm gonna be there. Yes. Speaking there, but no, we're not really doing anything. I think so far nobody has asked us to do anything, and yeah, we don't really have bandwidth to do anything, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll definitely be there. It was great last year, so I'm looking forward to this year as well. So if any of you are there, would love to meet. Can BCA help with visa application if one is to travel for it? For New York or for Lisbon? I'm not sure. I definitely for the US, no. I'm 100% certain for it because we're not, we don't have like anything that can, let's say, support a visa application, even for our internal employees, actually. For Lisbon, I'm not sure how it works. Maybe it's something that Phil would probably know better than me because he's better at these things. So if you want to quickly ping him and ask him, that would be ideal. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, unfortunately. Also, I think it depends where you're asking the visa from. So yeah, all of these details, if you want to ping it to Phil, maybe he can help. Boria as well. Do you know Boria?
Not exactly.
About visa applications?
Visa applications, you would have to go to your local embassy, and there is something else as well. You are not allowed to enter your. I was checking this up on you a few days ago, and I'm not completely sure if this bill has passed. But as far as I know, you're still not allowed to enter the US, if you don't, if you are not COVID vaccinated. So if you don't have the vaccine, like a full regimen and the full thing, I think you will not be allowed into the country, which is a bummer for people who are not vaccinated. But just so you know, this is a thing. Other than that, I think it should be rather easy to get a visa. If anyone needs any special document, I think we can provide one. Like specifically, artists who are participating in a Proof of People can get a participation document, which just needs to be signed by a legitimate organization. I think Phil will know more about the actual lawful elements of this, but it shouldn't be very hard. And unless you don't have a vaccine, you're accepted in the States. And of course, if you're not some kind of a murderer or something like this.
All right, thank you for that, Boya.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone, and have a lovely rest of the day, and we'll chat soon. And please remember to add your AMA's suggestions as well, of who you would like to hear in the last 2 weeks.
So cool.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.